This is Sky News Business.
Welcome back to Technology Behind Business. Australians on average are working about 42 hours a week. It's one of the longest working weeks in the developed world. Most of that time is spent in the office. So can technology help businesses get the balance right between design, productivity and fun? Joining us today to talk about this, Keti Malkoski, a workplace psychologist with office furniture company Schiavello. Sam Riley, Managing Director of Ansurada, a company that provides virtual data room services and was considered by BRW to be one of the best places to work. And also joining us, Manpal Jagpal, Product Manager from Hewlett-Packard. It's great to have you all on the program. We do spend so much time in the office, don't we? If I can start by asking each of you to talk about what is wrong with the traditional office. What is it about the traditional office that makes workers sometimes unhealthy, sometimes not want to be there, sometimes less productive? Keti, why don't you jump in?
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think that we're all changing so much as individuals and the way that we work, that the workplace just needs to be more aligned to our needs.
Sam, how should it change?
I think that traditional office you described can be a bit like a siloed feeling, or it's a bit unattractive. So, for people to want to spend time in a place, it has to be attractive by its design, and people can interact with people and things like that. So I think breaking down the physical walls or the virtual walls or whatever they are, and you're letting people interact more is a key thing.
Okay, interaction, Manpal?
I think the flexibility, I think that's the biggest thing at the moment. Is there's so many work-life balance type choices that everyone's running through. Having the ability to be flexible and meeting the needs is the critical one at the moment, and that's, I think everyone's driving towards how to get that best balance out of the workplace.
So, I mean, we're prompted by all sorts of questions there, aren't we? How much time do we need to even spend in the office, whether or not people will be spending more time at home? Sam, I know that your organisation was actually acknowledged as one of the best places to work. I'm going to ask you about that in just a moment.
Sure.
Google's offices in Sydney have also received lots of awards and acknowledgement for being a pretty impressive place to work. And we've got a clip where we can show you how the designers there tackled that space for the internet giant Google. Let's start having a look at it. The company talked a lot in detail about wanting to make sure that the workplace was fun, that it was colourful, that it was bright. They were flexible with their design. They were flexible with how the logo would be used. Keti, how important is it for a workplace to consider that design element? Should it be fun?
Well, ultimately, fun is part of Google's brand, and it should be fun, but it should represent the brand of the organisation. And fun means different things to different organisations and different teams and individuals working within those organisations.
What have you learned about the way people work best in a workplace?
Ultimately, and you touched on this before yourself, it's about flexibility. People should have a choice on how they should work. There's no one-size-fits-all. And on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week, month-by-month, project-by-project, our needs change. So in terms of having an ideal workplace, it changes day-to-day what it means.
Yeah. Sam Riley, your business, Ansurada, was recognised for being a great place to work. Why?
I think there's a few reasons, and when you go into that award selection process, they ask a multitude of things, so you get ranked on that, and that's how you get up there. But one of them, I think, is being transparent. We're a fast-growing company, and we're celebrating wins in the workplace. Being open and with issues and information, so at any one point, people know exactly what the company's focused on and why. What the roadblocks are, so there's no sort of siloing of information. It's sort of, it's freely available.
What does the workplace look like, Sam? Is it open plan?
Well, it looks a bit cramped at the moment because
a growing business ends up looking that way.
Yeah, but we're actually in the middle of planning and starting a new fit out of a new office. So a lot of these ideas we're actually really putting into life in the new office.
Now, will it be open plan? There are, in the early 90s, offices all over the world went open plan, and there is now growing criticism of it.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
It's completely open plan. Even myself, I don't have an office.
Right.
So people are more mobile in how they work. But also, we've got some designated quiet rooms. So they're rooms where if you do just need to make a phone call or you do need to work on something on your own for 3 hours or with another person, you can go into that quiet room. We've got a room that's got going to have sleeping pods in there, so you can get a 20-minute power nap. Because some of our people might get in early and work the whole day, and then they are going out tonight on a function as well. So that's like a big day, so they can get a power nap at 5 o'clock or something and just freshen up.
It sounds like a sensational idea. I might suggest that here. Keti, open plan versus more defined cubicles. What's your thoughts?
I think with any workplace approach, whether it's cubicles, open plan, or even more recently activity-based working, it does just need to suit the workforce. That includes the work that's being done and the people that are using the workplace. So what that means is that there needs to be analysis up front and there needs to be a match between the workplace and the workforce. So it can be positive.
Manpower, Jagpal, I want to come back to you. We haven't touched a lot on the kinds of technologies that will radically change office spaces and workplaces. What will the office of the future look like, particularly in relation to, for example, the paperless office that we were all promised back in the late 70s and early 80s?
Well, I think we've touched on that as well. Like, the flexibility is the key. So if you've got mobile salespeople that actually want to go through, technology needs to exist that gives them the flexibility to use and still be connected in the back office or what have you. The ability for people to come in and, I guess, perhaps have a hot desk type environment where you come in, sit down, log on to your service and whatnot. Going forward, I think paperless office kind of exists already because we're doing a lot of email. But it comes back down to, like what you mentioned before, one size does not fit everyone. Some people may need to require paper or some sort of physical things to hold on to, whereas other ones, technology might change and evolve where you actually take that paper, convert it into digital format, and then use things like flexible displays or touch interface to bring them up and then expand, zoom, print, no matter where you are.
It's an exciting description of the future. Microsoft has put out a clip of how it would envisage an office of the future, and we'll have a quick look at that now. What we see many references of in here is the concept of augmented reality. Manpal, is that technology going to drive the workplace of tomorrow? The ability to be able to use handheld cameras to record things onto walls, onto windows. Is that a big change?
I think it's going to evolve, and like we said, depending on what the fit-out looks like, what the rooms are. If you've got a quiet room, in that quiet room you want to make phone calls, but it might need to be hands-free, for example, where you walk in, have a conversation, have I guess, a portal to look into and connect with other people without having to have physically any particular products available there. And we've seen in the gaming console industry, for example, we've got the motion sensing coming in. So that technology could be brought in very easily to detect your motions and then use that to control what you're doing day to day. Bring your information in, have a projected screen, and use physically, without touching anything, just pointing, clicking, and then expanding whatever you want to go grab hold of.
A question for all of you. How crucial is it when there's an office refit being considered that the designers are talking to IT? And how often does that go wrong, Keti?
Well, I'll actually take it down a different perspective. You've got two IT reps here and I represent people. It's very important to obviously talk to IT, but just as important, it's important to talk to HR representatives. There needs to be a people representation that have a voice as well. There needs to be a balance between the physical place, the IT and the people.
When we were doing ours, we actually had all of those people in the same room at the same time, because they've each got a different perspective. But IT can help with technology that does help people interact more, not just in an unemotional sense. So you're putting all those people to collaborate and come up with the best ideas together rather than separate helps. Some of the stuff we saw in the Microsoft clip there, we're trying to do bits of that where you can get large screens now very cheap. So we're putting like 4 of them on a wall where you can use that space to compare designs, but then you've got a large format display that our developers can play games against each other.
That everyone can see, that you can record off, etc.
So you've got that live data.
How quickly to you, who should be involved in a design fit like that?
I think, like you said, everyone is. I think the role of IT is to make things happen. So when we have a special fit out, for example, and you have a requirement for a multi-purpose type display, IT can actually help and have that content facilitation occur as well. And that's, I guess, the role of IT, engaging with everyone, is at the end of the day, it's the conduit that connects everything. Information has to flow somewhere, and that's where the IT's role to change, evolve, and play and fit with the different requirements, having flexible displays, large displays, whatnot, is the key that I think collaboratively can make a really fun work environment and a productive one as well.
We're running a little short of time, but Manpal, I want to come to you for one final question. Will we see offices in the future? Do you envisage a time when offices break down and people are working at home or working in different locations and are using technology to come together?
I think some of that is already occurring. We do have flexible work hours and we have flexible communication options as well. Longer term, though, I think it might still be a need for some people to go into the physical environment of what looks like an office. Some people may want to go and have that boundary set. Others might say, well, I want the ultimate in flexibility and I'll work from anywhere and any time. Get information in snack formats that I can go in, quickly grab something and then process it and then connect up with whoever I need to go to and then have that come through. So office is going to evolve and change. The look and feel will vary and evolve as well, and technology and what the requirements change will be all brought into it as well.
It's been a really interesting debate and one that we can continue again. I'm sure we will on TBB. Keti, Sam and Manpal, thanks so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
That's all we have time for in this week's edition of Technology Behind Business. You can watch the show again, though, on our website at skynews.com.au. And you can follow me on Twitter at jkerrison. I'm John Kerrison. Thanks for joining us.